If you're publishing a video on LinkedIn or YouTube, you're going to be prompted to upload a thumbnail so that when people come across the video, they've got some idea of what it is that they're going to see. In fact, you'll also be able to do that on Instagram and other places too. So how do you do that whilst maintaining some kind of consistency? Well, I'm going to show you how you can use Adobe Express to create branded thumbnails that you can just rinse and repeat every time. So here we are in Adobe Express. This is what we're going to create. I'm going to show you how we create it from scratch. I'm using a file. I have already selected my dimensions. So if I just go into resize here, you can see we're doing it at 1920 by 1080. But of course, if I wanted to change the dimensions into perhaps a real size, I can change that around. For now, we're going to keep it at landscape. So I've got that here, and we would have a blank canvas. So let's just create a blank canvas here. And the first thing I'm going to do is actually create the branding element to it. Now, of course, if you've set up your Adobe Express properly, you've got your brand already set up. So I'm going to go into brands and I'm going to choose my brand of LikeMind Media because that's the video series that we're creating it for. And you can see I've already got my color palette here, which is fantastic. So actually I'm going to, I'm going to do a couple of things. The first thing I'm going to do is actually put in the picture of the person, because as you can see from this example, we've got the person that I'm interviewing in a sort of, I don't know what you call that, but you've got it cut off at an angle. That's very branded. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to insert the picture of the person that I'm interviewing. So this is Ronnie, she's gorgeous. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically cut off the left. Now I could, if I wanted to, actually crop that to a particular shape. So if I click on crop, I could do that to a particular shape like here if I wanted to, but that actually doesn't give me the right angle. So I'm just going back to freeform. I'm not going to crop it at all. Instead, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to be so clever, I'm going to add in a square, a rectangle, or some shape like that on top of it. So I'm going to click on elements. I'm going to pick my shapes, quickly go view all, find the rectangles, and I always pick this one that's filled because I don't want a block. So then I select it. I'm going to choose from my brand the color that I want, which is this light blue. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to make it big. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate it so that I've got my angle that I want. That's about right. And then I'm just going to bring it all the way over there and find the angle that I want. And there I've got my two components. So I'm using a shape to create the look that I want. Then I'm going to go back to branding. I'm going to pick out my logo, put that there. That's going to go up here. I don't want it too big. And then the topic, the video series is actually called LikeMind Media Conversations. So here I'm going to click on my text, type it here. Oh, I've already done that, 1 second. Conversations, that's all we need. I'm not worried about format at this stage because I'm going to pick from my brand. Again, go into my brand here and choose my header text and put that in the middle here. I'm going to change that to my brand color of this dark blue. And then I'm going to put in the name of the person that I'm interviewing or the company that I'm interviewing. And here I'm actually just going to click on the three dots and go to duplicate to make it easier. Then I don't have to worry about it. I'm going to replace this with BJH Marketing, which is Ronnie's company. And because I want that to be bigger, I want her brand to be more prominent, I'm going to put that there. So now what I've got is I've got my brand, I've got the title, I've got the name of the company that I'm interviewing, and there is my thumbnail. Now, if I then want, well, I've just realized that that's not quite aligned. If I then want to create another version of that for, say, Instagram or TikTok Reels. So I'm going to go into size here, Instagram Reel. I'm going to untick this box that says expand image because I don't want to use the generative AI feature here. Duplicate and resize. That will give me at the end the elements here, and really what I want to do is do something similar, but obviously that looks terrible from a real perspective, so I need to think of a cleverer way of doing that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the background this light blue, then I'm going to bring the picture of Ronnie, I'm going to make that much bigger, make this bigger too, bring that over, and then bring these elements down into the middle. And what should I do that? I think what we'll do is we will align those here into the center and do it this way, and maybe make them a bit bigger. In fact, I'll put the LikeMind Media conversations up here, and then we'll make VJ Age Marketing much bigger. Here we don't want it to be overwriting, so let me have a look at the safe zones bit here. Let's show the safe zone for an Instagram Reel. We can see where the safe zones are. We don't need to click anything anyway, so that all looks fine. In fact, I might just bring Ronnie up to the very top here, and I think we'll do that rather than anything else. Bring that up a little bit, make that more in the center, and then I might even put something like watch now or something like that. Now, once I've done one, of course, for subsequent episodes, I can simply duplicate the whole page and replace the picture with somebody else. I can click on replace, I can find another person that I'm interviewing, and so on. So what I've really been able to do there is make my workflow a lot slicker. I've recorded the video, I've edited it, I've gone to publish it, and from my thumbnail perspective, I've got something that's repeatable. I can just swap the photo and the name of the company around for each episode that we put out there, which means it's taking less time to actually get it out. We've all got things to do, haven't we? Nice and simple, thanks to features like the brand kit, the shapes, the resizing on Adobe Express. If you haven't tried it out, go and try it for free, and let me know what you think.